Some
Sorry about that. I didn't hit record when I thought I did. Keep going, ladies.
You're good. We are, our office is right on the square. We actually share with the Opera House, that big purple building that you see. So we're right in the heart of it all. And we love right where we are. We love being involved with local businesses, whether it's through marketing or through volunteering. Courtney was part of the Mimosa Hop this past weekend, helping out there. And I know she had a good time. So on the business side, we specialize in search engine optimization, which is SEO, pay-per-click advertising, which is PPC, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, that kind of thing. Social media marketing, that's going to be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, that kind of thing. And then content marketing. So that's the content on your website, whether it be a page or a blog post or anything like that. We're a small but mighty team. We have a really collaborative environment. We love bouncing ideas off of each other and working together because every client that we have presents a unique set of challenges. Every client has its target audience that they're trying to hit. And we get excited about creating those personalized marketing strategies to help every client hit their unique goals. We are all about transparency. Every single profile that we make, every ad campaign that we run, we want our clients to have ownership of everything. There should never be anything that we own that you don't have access to. We are an open book. We often say that we spend our clients' money as if it were our own. Because we know that you're a business owner too. A lot of our clients are small businesses, and we recognize that every dollar is important. You want to make sure that the marketing dollars you spend are giving you a return on your investment. You're seeing something come through there. We want to make sure that everything is the way that it should be, right? So we kind of tout ourselves about having measurable results, no BS, full transparency. And like I said, we treat our clients as if they're family. So I think that makes us unique in that we have our clients' best interest at heart and that we're 100% transparent about that. If you bring us an idea and we think that might not work, we're probably going to tell you that because we don't want you to waste that money. We want it to be spent in a way that, like I said, is going to bring you results. And even if it means, oh, you come to us, you think you want to do Facebook ads, and we think that might not be the best outlet for you to find your target audience, we'll tell you that. And if that means that you go to a different agency or find a service somewhere else, that's okay with us because we know that you're a business as well. You're trying to find real results. And we totally respect that. We have clients ranging from small mom and pops, like I said, like local HVAC companies, plumbing companies, to when we work also with large brands like GoDaddy. So there's a good chance no matter what your business is, we've dealt with it, we've seen it all, and we can help kind of create that personalized strategy. And that's what we love.
Jessica, I'm going to interrupt. You say that GoDaddy is your customer?
Yes, yeah, that's one of our clients.
Interesting. Okay. That's kind of cool, actually. All right, continue. Sorry, I wasn't sure I heard that right.
Yeah, we're proud of it. We love the work that we get to do with them. Okay, next slide. So this is a little bit more in depth about what we do, search engine optimization, marketing, unique marketing strategies, social media management. So that's like posts, but then we also do the ad sides of things. So Facebook ads, Instagram ads, we've done LinkedIn ads for a Dallas client, all that kind of stuff. Link building, which helps, I'll get into it a little bit later, but that helps establish your credibility online. Email newsletters, blogs, web content. There's a pretty good chance we've done it all. And if not, we're going to figure out how to do it to bring you the best results for your clients. And then reporting and analytics. Like I said earlier, we are an open book. Every month you get this huge, we try to uncomplicate it as much as possible, but this huge report full of data about how your business did in the last month online. We love to sit down and then have a conversation with you about what all that means. And we love to hear from you. How are things going on the other side, right? And make sure that everything that we're doing online and everything you're doing offline are lining up and that you're finding that success that you're looking for.
Oh, now it's my turn, huh? Listen, I'm going to keep mine really short because this is about marketing today, but I'll tell you that when people come to us because they want a new IT company, it's usually out of frustration that their current IT company is not responding quickly enough. So we have a little metric on our website. If you just go to the home page, it'll tell you how many minutes it takes us on average to respond to a support ticket. It's real data, live data. It's a 7-day average. And I honestly, you know what, I'm going to look at it. I couldn't tell you what it is right now.
Now I want to know.
Live on the air, I'm going to let you know.
7 day or 7 minute?
10 minutes right now. So that means actually that's not good for us. We're usually single digits. But what I'm proud of more than that number is the process behind how we get to that number. Again, most complaints in the IT world are about response times. We have excellent response times, but it's because of the process behind the scenes. So I'm just going to kind of leave it there. We help all kinds of companies in the metro. Usually they have 10, 20 computers or more. But beyond that, we just come in and we help you get things sorted out and running smoothly so that you're not calling us all the time. And that way you respond a whole lot quicker. So that's what I've got, guys. Go ahead and continue on.
All right. So the way that this webinar is laid out is Courtney and I are going to dive into a few main pillars of things, like I said, that you can do online for free. We're going to kind of explain what they are, why they're important, and then we want to give you some action steps that you can take away from here and go off and do as soon as you log off. You could probably even do it while we're on. So first, we're going to talk about Google My Business. That's GMB, as you'll hear me refer to it as. So Google My Business is arguably your most important asset online in today's age. What it is at its core is when you make a Google search here, you can see on my screen, axe throwing Denton is this bigger screen search. And off to the right, you'll see Ironwood axe throwing. This is a Google My Business profile. So as you can see, it has all the information that a potential customer could need. It's got a link to your websites, directions, there's a little map there, photos, reviews, address, hours, phone, all that good stuff. All the information that, like I said, a potential customer, potential client can need, they should be able to find in your Google My Business. Also, on this other little inset here, this is an example of how Google My Business profiles show up in Google Maps. So here was a search for a coffee shop's Denton. You can see there are 3 businesses that came up here. Each one of these is a Google My Business profile. These are free to create. And you can see it's not as in-depth as over here Ironwoods is, but you can see on average the ratings, you can see how popular it is, some of the features that they're offering, curbside pickup. Google has really pivoted to make sure that all of these COVID-19 precautions are shown and that kind of thing. So you can put if you wear masks, you can put if you're sanitizing, if you're social distancing, all that stuff. And some of those have started to show up here. And so here are 2 examples of what they look like. Next slide. Okay, actually, yeah, go back one. I'm going to use this while I'm talking. Okay, so more and more the rise of what's called no-click searches is becoming more important. So what does that mean? That means that somebody's making a search in Google, in this case, coffee shops Denton, axe throwing Denton, and they are going to make their decision without even navigating to your website. Like I said earlier, arguably your Google My Business profile is more important than your website because somebody's going to make a decision and not even click through, aka no click, to the site. So what does that mean? That means that your Google My Business, like I've said 7 times, is so important. And what's really important is that you are maximizing the features that Google My Business allows you to. So what does that mean? Today, like I said, Google allows you to input in any precautions that you're taking for COVID-19. It allows you to put your services down to descriptions of each individual service. You can put the prices for each individual service. You can also put if it varies. Some of our clients have, they'll create a package deal, so you can put if it varies. Phone number, there's a Q&A, you can ask questions, you'll see reviews. The more that you can maximize on your profile, the better. Not only does that help somebody have all the information they need to make a decision and have your profile look better, you also gain favor with Google when you use all of those features that are being offered, right? They're a little bit selfish in that if they see that you're using what they're offering, they're like, hey, we like this business and it's going to help you out in search results. So a number of reasons why that Google My Business is super important. Okay, go back to the next slide, Courtney. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So here is a visual that I like to give. It's part of our presentation that we give to clients about why it's so important to have an updated and maximized Google My Business. So just at a glance, you can probably guess which one of these I'm going to say is the better looking Google My Business profile. As a consumer, I probably won't even give Maui Pools a second glance because there is practically no information there at all. Whereas Blue Science has reviews. There's a pretty nice clean pool photo, website, phone number, hours, anything that I could possibly need. I probably won't even click through to the website, kind of like I mentioned earlier. So here's a really good visual example of how just through this free profile, you can get a leg up over your competitors by maximizing that profile. Next slide, Courtney. So kind of like I mentioned earlier, at the end of each little mini section, we're going to give you 3 action steps that you can take away right now. Number 1, actually before even number 1, I'll tell you, if you don't have a Google My Business profile, go make one. It's so easy. You just need a Google-based email and you can create it. They'll send a postcard to your business that will verify that you are the owner of the business. You can then hide the address if you need to. So don't worry about that. It's so easy to create. It takes 30 seconds maybe. So that would be my number 1 step. Number 2 would be maximize the available features, kind of like I mentioned earlier. Fill out absolutely everything that you can in that profile. This is free advertising, right? The profile is free. You don't have to pay for it to show up. So the more information that you can add in there, the better. Number 2, reviews. So important. Arguably in the top 3 factors as far as where your Google My Business profile ranks. So always be obviously asking for reviews and then respond to reviews. Be quick to respond to reviews. Thank somebody for reviewing, leaving you a review. Put a QR code on your business card that will take them straight to it. And the more reviews that you can get, obviously the more credible Google and the general public sees your business as being. And then number 3 is going to be to add photos. So if you're a service business, you have a physical product, the more photos that you can add, the better. You can ask customers to post photos as well. All of that is going to help. Google sees the location, also the location that's embedded into the photo. So if you're trying to grow your business in a certain area, have photos that are taken in that certain area uploaded to your Google My Business profile, and that sends Google a little signal that you're working in that area. And then bonus points, stay on top of it. We tell clients you should wake up, maybe not wake up, you should check your Google My Business just like you're checking social media in the morning. You're having a cup of coffee, you're looking at your schedule for the day. Google My Business makes an app, which makes it so easy. Log in there, answer to a couple reviews, upload a couple photos from the previous day's jobs, or set aside some time every Friday morning, if anything, to upload photos, answer to reviews, or anything like that. I'll say it, but for the last time, almost more important. I would say more important than your website.
No, you keep saying that, Jessica, and I'm taking notes, by the way, because I'm taking notes. Let's just say I've got work to do.
We'll help you do it. No. Okay. Next.
Yes, you will actually.
Next section is SEO. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. It determines how your business ranks in results on search engine websites. So that's like Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And some of you are probably saying, who even gets on Yahoo anymore? Or who is on Bing? And let me tell you, depending on your target audience, different people use different search engines. So if your target audience is a little bit maybe of the older generation, they're probably on a Microsoft computer and not a MacBook. What does that mean? Bing is the search engine preloaded onto Microsoft computers. So it's important to be focusing your efforts not only on Google, but on all of them. Luckily, what you do for Google helps you in all of them, so you're covered there. You want to be on the first page of search results, if not in the top 3. That is our goal for our clients, is to get you in that top 3. So here's an example of a search. Should I have an arborist, or should I get an arborist? If you are an arborist in the area, you want to be showing up for these search results, right? So that includes improving your SEO to get into these results. That includes creating quality content and a number of different things that we do SEO wise to get you into this, not only on the first page, but we're trying to get you into those top 3 spots. There's a joke among SEOs that the best place to hide a dead body is on the second page of Google, because nobody ever goes there. So that's what we tell clients, why it's so important to be on that first page, and even just reflect on your own experiences. If you're looking for something, how often do you navigate to the second page, or much past, the first couple 5 results maybe? So it's extremely important to be proactive in this area, because you're not going to rise in the ranks here just by doing nothing. So ideally, like I said, you want to be ranked in those top 3 results to get more interactions from potential customers. And this is something that we monitor through a platform called Google Search Console, which is also free. So like I said, all of this is full of free little nugget tips. Google Search Console is another way for you to monitor how you're showing up in Google for free. So why is SEO important? 92% of online experiences begin with a search engine like Google. If you're looking to buy a new refrigerator, if you're looking for a restaurant to go out to dinner, I don't have to tell y'all, Google is the first place that people go. At least 75% of people never even make it to the second page. So SEO is extremely important. It's, like I said, one of the core things that we do for actually the majority of our clients. Our top 3 SEO tips for this section. Number 1 is going to be stellar page content. So if you are an exterminator, I want you to have a page about spiders, about ants, about termites. Each of those pages should have 1,500 words, that's a ballpark, about what you do, why it's important. There should be those target keywords in there so that when not only does Google see that you have all that information on there, that makes it easy for Google to understand exactly what you do. It makes your website extremely thorough for a potential customer to see that you know what you're doing. And that's going to help rise you in the ranks for in those search engines for those searches. If someone needs, an ant exterminator someone Googles ant exterminator near me, those keywords should be on your page about ants so that Google sees, wow, this example is really going specific, so that Google sees that you know what you're doing when it comes, and it's going to serve your website in those search results. So that would be number 1, stellar page content. Number 2 is going to be citations on top websites. We spend a lot of time creating citations for clients. What is a citation? Great question, Jessica. Citation is anywhere on the web that has your name, business name, address, phone number, and sometimes even website. So that information should be on pages like Facebook, Yelp, yellowpages.com, mapquest.com. If you're a service provider, you might be on Houzz or on Angie's List. All of those are considered top websites. So Google sees that your information is on those websites. Your information should also be consistent on those websites, aka your name should be the same, your phone number should be the same, website should be the same. And that's not only for SEO, but that's for customers as well, right? If they're trying to contact you and they see 2 or 3 different phone numbers to call, they'll probably just give up and not call you at all. So that's an easy thing to fix and to monitor, is those citations on top websites. Number 3 is going to be regular site audits. So another free resource is a tool called Google's PageSpeed Insights. I think it's pagespeedinsights.com. You pop over there, you put in your website's URL. It's going to give you a score for both desktop experience and mobile experience. And not only does it give you a score, it gives you tips on how to improve anything that could be better, right? So those are all free resources that you can pop into and kind of monitor how your site is doing. And then a bonus, I always like to say, consider your user's experience. So when you're adding page content, when you're looking at your site audit, does your website load quickly? Is it super text heavy? Is there too many images? Is there no images? Think about that as well, because a better page experience means that someone's going to stay on your site longer, and that's going to help as well with SEO. The third area we're hitting is social media. So we do, what we mostly do is Facebook and Instagram for our clients. We have some that do LinkedIn. I don't think that we have any that do Twitter, but we've done it before. And what we like to say when people ask, what should I be on Facebook? Should I be on Instagram? Where's your target audience? I'll call it hanging out online. Facebook is most popular. I usually tell clients that's probably where you'll see the best return on your investment as far as time spent, right? Is with Facebook. So wherever your customers are, there you should be too. Social media is being used more and more in today's kind of business world, and it's super important. We have a couple tips here for what makes a solid social media post if you're posting as a business. So we tell our clients, always post with a photo, right? That's always going to catch somebody's attention. You can try with text overlay on the photo. You can try it without. A/B testing is part of what we do to kind of see what resonates best, because every client's target audience is going to be a little bit different, right? So photos you take yourself are awesome. They show authenticity. If you are a business that has before and after type scenarios, post those photos. People are all about that. Keep it short and sweet. So most businesses thrive because they're addressing somebody's pain point, kind of like what Justin said earlier. If they're contacting him, it's because they're frustrated with who they have now, right, for an IT provider. So in your photo captions, you should explain what it is that you do, how it's going to make their life easier. Basically, you want to show them, hey, this is why you should call us, right? And keeping it to 2 to 3 sentences. If you got a whole paragraph going on, I can tell you people are likely not going to read it. But it's something that you can experiment with. Like I said, that A/B testing is super valuable. So provide value and not just sales. So the majority of your posts shouldn't be super salesy. You should be showing what you do. And honestly, your work probably speaks for itself if you do quality work. So keeping those salesy posts to maybe less than 25% of your posts, maybe one a week. It kind of depends on, it depends. It's a marketer's favorite answer. It depends on your target customer base. Also, customer insights is more free information provided to you by social media platforms. So most businesses will find that certain types of day or certain days of the week are going to bring a higher amount of interaction from your clients. So we have some service-based businesses, and those are really popular. Like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are their best days, but because people are just coming off the weekend, those are the days of the week that their customers are online. That's when they're even on their Google Analytics, which is your website information, that's when they're seeing the most activity. But then if you have like a restaurant or a bar, or you're only open on the weekends, then you know that Thursday, Friday, Saturday is probably going to be more valuable. So use that information, make a strategy. That's something that we do with our clients. Not only do we look at their social media analytics, but we also look at their Google Analytics as well, which is another free thing that you can add to your website. It's a simple code that you can add in. And that's going to show you demographics, the times that people are online, what pages on their website they're accessing, how long they're staying. It's all super, super valuable information that's going to help customize your strategy to your business. Social media best practices. I think I hit on some of these. So if you can, in your Facebook profile photo, or social media profile photo, or even Instagram or anything like that, photos that you're posting, or just your profile photo in general, people love to see a face, right? They want to know who they're interacting with. If you have a work truck, take a picture in front of your work truck. Awesome. That's great for a profile photo or a post on social media or anything like that. Your bio should include what you do, where you do it, and how you help your customers. When you make those posts on social media, tag everything that you can. So if you can tag a brand of something that you're installing or making, if you can tag the location that you're doing it in, if you can use hashtags, all of that information is going to help get your content in front of more people. Engage often with your followers and customers. So that's like we mentioned earlier, responding to comments, responding to reviews. I think actually on Facebook, there's even a little metric, and it'll tell you how long it typically takes for the business to respond to an inquiry. So kind of like what Justin aims for, the lower that number that you can get is the better. And then respond quickly, like I mentioned earlier, to questions, comments, and messages, all that good stuff.
And I just want to add into, Jessica, you might cover this, I think in the last slide maybe, but just in general, like everyone or more people are using social media as a customer service platform now. So like we see all the time, customers will like just drop a direct message, like asking to essentially become a customer, which is crazy because you think, well, why don't you just call the number or like go to the website? But people are actually using social media through comments, through direct messages, through whatever, to like ask questions in order to become a customer, or if they have an issue with something, or if it could be anything. We see it all the time. So you want to make sure you're really staying engaged and monitoring your social media profiles, because you might miss out on a customer.
Yep. It used to be nice. You only had to monitor your phones, and now it's like you have to check Facebook and your email and your text messages and Google My Business and all that good stuff. But that's where your customers are. You have to meet them where they are. So as it becomes more, I would say complicated, there's also benefits as well. So the top 3 social media tips: A, create valuable content. You will get this deck sent out to you, so you can use some of those best practices that I mentioned a little bit earlier. And then tagging everything, super important. Like I said, products, locations, all that good stuff. And then posting consistently. So people often ask us, how often should I be posting? And I would say, what makes sense for you, right? If you are just so bogged down with work that you can only get it out once or twice a week, that's better than nothing, right? So that would be our advice there. Do what you can. Definitely focus on quality over quantity as when you're putting out these social media posts. So
I want to
Courtney's
interject
going to
something
talk about.
there.
Oh, go for it.
Well, just really quickly. So, I mean, I'm listening as, okay, I've got to go and execute all this stuff that you guys are talking about. I'm in a business and I am super busy, not just with business, but family and everything else.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I have to have a process behind it. I talk a lot about process, but it's what drives me and my business. And if I'm going to make any of this happen, it has to be like a checklist that pops up on my screen at a certain time every day. And it has to be religious, because otherwise I will start doing something. I might make one social media post and then that's it. I'm done. So I would just say build a process, guys.
Yep, absolutely. I think habit research shows if you can tie it to like an activity. So if you know that on Friday mornings when you sit down with your coffee, you're going to use that 30 minutes, like tying it to an activity or something like that.
Right. Yep.
Helps you keep it, add it to your calendar. Everybody has different processes that work for them.
Right.
So you just have to find out what that is. All right, Courtney is going to talk a little bit about about blog and email. I'll hand it over to her.
Yeah. So essentially, we've already talked about SEO. Now, Jessica mentioned in her speech just about content being a big part of that, and this is what this is. So blogs are a very big and important strategy with your SEO efforts when it comes to content on your website. And the reason for this is because content is one of the easiest ways for Google to crawl your website. They're looking for specific keywords and queries and using that to match up with what people are looking online for. So if someone's searching for ant exterminator or whatever, like if that is content that you have on your site, that's a match. They're seeing how they can rank that. And that's just a form of getting your SEO rankings to go up. However, I know this is going to sound a little bit counterintuitive, but with blogs, and specifically with blogs, your primary focus should not necessarily be to optimize for SEO. Your primary focus should be to provide relevant content, overly helpful, share-worthy content for your audience. That is the biggest goal that you have for creating content. You create content for your audience to answer questions, do whatever, and then you are going to tweak it for SEO to help rank that. So you're not going to necessarily create content just for the fact of getting on search engine result pages, but that's going to come naturally, because if you provide value to your audience naturally through like quality blogs and really helpful, really relevant content, they're going to continue reading that page and reading your content. And Google's going to notice that they're staying on that page for longer, which is one of the factors that actually is going to send like a signal ranking to Google that that page is relevant and trustworthy, which is going to in turn boost your SEO rankings for that page. So make sure you're just providing a lot of value to your audience. That's the biggest goal. And then you can tweak it for SEO. So for SEO purposes, blogs should be at least 1,000 words long. I think it's one of the there's probably a few reasons why. I think part of it is because Google does want to see that you're someone's staying on your page for longer, but it gives you more of a chance to include keywords and just like helpful, relevant content. So they like to see that at least 1,000 words should be on your blogs. And within that blog, you should include your main keyword at least a few times, including at least once in your title. So make sure your main keyword is in your title. But we're going to avoid keyword stuffing. No one wants to open a blog and read you say auto dealership 20 times. Like that's just not going to look very good. So you want to add variations of keywords. An example, such as the auto dealership, a keyword variation would be like car dealership, car lot, used cars, cars for sale. So all of these are related keywords that will naturally flow through the content, and they're basically saying about the same thing, but they're extra keywords that make it more interesting. They're not reading auto dealership 100 times. And on top of that, it makes your content look less spammy, and your blog can even rank for more keywords than just the main one you're trying to rank for. So there's a lot of reasons why you want to include multiple variations of your keyword, your main keyword, within your content. And then it's important for you to share the blog. Just because you build it doesn't mean people are going to come. So you have to share it, especially blogs are so easily shared online. You can share it anywhere across the web. You can share it on your social media. You can share it in your email newsletters. Doing that is going to promote more traffic coming to that blog, which is on your site, more traffic to your site. And that's going to help boost your rankings. Plus, on top of that, whenever you share your blogs to other, not necessarily social media and email, because anytime you have a link within your social media or your email newsletters, that's not considered a backlink or a citation necessarily. But it does count as referral traffic. But if you add that blog link to, say, another guest blog or someone else's promoting your blog on their site, or you're just posting it to other places, those are considered backlinks, which are going to, Google actually looks at how many backlinks does this website have, and that helps boost your SEO rankings as well. So there's a lot of reasons why you should absolutely share your blog to wherever your customers are, get more traffic, and that's overall going to help your rankings. And so the top 3 blog tips that I have is to focus on being super relevant and adding a lot of value to your content. Answer those questions that your customers have. FAQs are a really great way for you to do that. If you can't think of what to write about, just consider your FAQs. Pick one common FAQ and use that as a blog title. And then you write a lot of value to that. And then you're going to tweak it for SEO, making sure that it's going to be good for Google, that they're going to like it, and they're going to hopefully rank that higher and higher over time. And then sharing it to make sure that it gets more traffic and promoted to your customers. Now we're going to get into email. Now, email is one of the most cost-effective ways for you to, it's usually free. There are paid options here. So I'm including it as a free option because there are many free options with email, depending on if you use a platform like MailChimp or if you just use your own email address. Well, this is an easy way for you to get directly in touch with your customers, to tell them about updates, offers, educational things, whatever it is. But the reason why this is such a good thing is because the people who you're sending the email to are already expecting you to send that to them. They are, excuse me, they are saying that I am expecting to receive this email. And so you've already got that foot in the door. This is a great and unique opportunity for you to put an important message in front of them. And so there's a lot of reasons why email marketing is a must-have when it comes to connecting and staying engaged with your customers, because now more than ever, that's what customers are looking for in businesses. They're wanting to be consistently communicated with, to find connection with the businesses that they buy from. And this is just one of those ways that you're continuing to stay on top of mind, even if they never open the email. Just the fact that you're consistently communicating with them, but not too much, because you don't want to annoy them or make them angry. Giving them what they expect is important, but staying in communication. Social media and email are parts of that, where you're giving out information, you're giving them updates, you're keeping them in the loop, you're giving them offers when there are some. Those are just ways for them to stay engaged. And that's what's going to create that customer loyalty essentially over time. So some email best practices are to be consistent, but not send too often. Now, I think the biggest part here is to deliver what they're expecting. A lot of maybe services, people who offer services and products, but maybe don't have sales very often. Once a month is really great for a general newsletter. Most of our clients actually do this. They'll do once a month for just a newsletter. It has different sections. It's got news and updates. It's got your featured product or service of the month, the blog of the month, and maybe some FAQs. And sometimes they'll use that same general monthly newsletter to include like an offer or a sale. Well, this is just a really great way for them to, their customers know they're getting it. But so for example, Master Computing actually sends out weekly IT tips. This is specific educational content that his list knows they're going to be getting, and I get them too.
You're saying I do something right?
Yes.
Because that, like, so far over this whole presentation, I think that's it. That's the one thing. Everything else I have to fix. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think part of it is just like, if you send something that they're not expecting, they could get annoyed with it. And the last thing you want to do is for them to click the spam button. That's the easiest button up there to click.
Yeah.
You always want to make sure that you give them a very clear way to unsubscribe. And because, you know, if they want to unsubscribe, let them, give them an easy way to get out, because if they click that spam button, that's going to do a couple things. Number one, that's going to flag your content as like a spam signal. And if you get multiples of those, that can actually hurt your email reputation and start automatically putting your emails into other people's spam boxes. And you don't want that. You want it to go to their inbox. So you want to give them an easy way to unsubscribe if that's not what they want. But if you don't already have like an easy way to get customers to opt into these emails from like the sale. So for example, if you go to like the coffee shop and they say, enter your email for coupons or something, if I enter my email address, I know I'm going to get that. But if you have not done that already, what you can do is send out an email to all your customers, one email with a very clear opt-in button. Tell them exactly what they're going to be getting if they opt in and how often they're going to get. Just very transparent. If you opt in, this is what we'll send. It might be offers, it might be educational content, it might be whatever, it might be weekly IT tips, or and you want to let them know like how often. I'm going to send this every once a week or once a month, and that's it. If you consistently stay to that, people are going to be more likely to open that email because they know they've signed up for it, they're expecting it, they're going to enjoy it because they know it's going to provide value every single time. So with that, if you do have consistent coupons and offers and stuff to provide in your emails, those are going to be some of the most successful ones because everybody loves a discount on anything. So if you do have this, these are going to be really important to use email marketing for that, to get that messaging in front of your customers, to let them know you have sales or something going on. And I think those are really great because the two metrics that we measure the most for email success are open rate and click-through rate. So if you get a lot of opens, that means the subject line was something they're interested in, like it says an offer, is very clear what they're getting. And then a click-through rate is when someone clicks on a link within your website or within your email to go to a website or whatever page that you want. So those two things are the most important things to measure for email success. And I'll say the next one is just to keep it short and sweet. No one wants to open an email and see paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of text. Like, what you want to do is use your email as a teaser. You want to give them enough information that they need to know, but make sure that if they want to learn more, give them links to go to your website to learn more, or to take whatever desired action that is, whether it's to learn more, to sign up, to make a call, whatever it is. Having teaser text, like, this is valuable content already right here, but I'm not giving you everything you need to know. Give them enough to where they want to click to your website to learn more. So that's why including links to your website is important, because that's traffic to your website. That's going to help your SEO rankings. That's going to overall help your website do better. The more traffic that you're driving to your website. And that's the goal. There's different strategies you can use here, but this is just the most common one, especially when it's going to be an email newsletter. You have your few sections, and each one is going to have a little bit of information and a link to learn more. And then of course you want to add your social media buttons, because it's just an easy way for people to click, to become a follower or fan of your page, to engage with your posts. And then overall, email is just a really great way for you to include information, get the message out, create loyal customers, and drive more traffic to your site. So the last thing I'm going to cover is A/B testing. Most email platforms have a really easy way for you to test this out. Like we use MailChimp for a lot of our clients, and on there, there's an option to do A/B testing. Well, there's a lot of ways you can do A/B testing, but a really good one to try out is subject lines, like Jessica had mentioned. You're going to pick 2 subject lines. Maybe one is more sales focused, like here's an offer, and the other subject line is going to be maybe more educational or just whatever. You can play around with it. And one of the subject lines is going to go to half your list, and the other subject line is going to go to the other half. And at the end of that campaign, you'll be able to see which subject line brought the most opens or the highest open rate. That is what you know is a successful subject line, and that can completely just shift your email marketing strategy. If everybody loves the educational content, that should give you a clue that like people want more education. If they're opening only the offer in your subject line, they want to see more offers. So this
Courtney,
is a great way for you
can I ask a quick question on that? When you're A/B testing, do you have like a baseline of how many contacts should be on your list for that to be effective?
I don't have like a specific number. I mean, obviously the more the better. Um, there's a lot of different ways you can do A/B testing too. Like if you ever go to MailChimp or something like that, you can do this manually also, but MailChimp, there's other ways of doing A/B tests. Sometimes it'll divide it up into 3. So if it divides it up into 3, you definitely want to have a pretty good list. Like say at least 500 would be great.
Okay.
Probably just if you're going to divide it up into 3, because what they'll do is they'll send group A, the subject line A, group B, subject line B, and group C is going to be the winning subject line. Like whoever wins is going to send it to the last group.
Gotcha.
There's all these different kinds of ways you can do it, but the most simple one is just the 2, where one subject line is going to go to half, the other one's going to go to the other half, and then you'll just find out at the end which one's most successful. So there's not a set number, but I think minimum 500 would be perfect. But if you have 200, that's fine, you know.
Gotcha.
If you have 10, I don't know if it's worth it.
Right.
So, and then just going back over these top 3 email marketing tips, staying consistent. As long as your customers or your contact list knows what they're getting and is expecting that from you, provide it. Always provide that, and always give value in your emails. That's super important. Don't let it just constantly be sales. But as soon as they open it, they know they're going to have value in some form or fashion. That's what's really important. And then keep it simple, making sure that you add links to your website for them to find out more information. That's really your CTA, to get them to click to learn more. So that's all I have for that.
We have a special offer for anybody who's on the website or on the webinar today. And that's a free website audit. We do this for clients as part of the onboarding process. And what we'll typically do is we'll run the audit on our end, gather a bunch of that data. If you have any pain points, we're happy to hear those as well. And then we'll do a 30-minute call with you to talk about how your site stacks up, what you're doing well, what can be improved. If you want to just take all the nuggets of information that we give you and you want to go implement all that yourself, totally cool to do that. If you want our help to implement them, we're happy to do that as well. But just shoot us over an email, and we'll get started and get you that audit. I think now we're moving on to a Q&A section. So our MC Justin.
Yeah, and I apologize because usually at the beginning I let people know, hey, take some notes, come with questions because we'll have Q&A. And I didn't say that this time, but we actually do have a couple that popped up while you guys were talking. So I'm going to start with those while I do my housekeeping I should have done at the beginning. And guys, anybody listening, if you have any questions that have come up at all, just go down to the bottom of the window of the Zoom webinar window, and there's a Q&A button, and hit that. You can also use the chat, but it's easier in the Q&A. So either one of those, if you have any questions at all, go ahead and throw those in. While you're doing that, so one that came up earlier when you were talking, Jessica, about SEO was, and I'm just going to read this directly and hopefully I can make sense of it. SEO versus PPC, pay-per-click, I guess.
Yep.
Are people more likely to click? Yeah. Are people more likely to click organic results or paid ads?
I would say paid ads because they show up right there at the very top of your search. And since technically the ads are a Google product, they get pushed at the very top of the page. Nowadays, the organic results are first you'll see when in search results, you'll see 2 ads, then you might see a map, then you might see 3 Google My Business profiles, and then you'll see the organic results. So organic results, Google has pushed really far down there. They're both equally as important. We like to tell people that SEO is the long game, and PPC is, you'll see kind of some more immediate results there. We often tell clients also to use PPC to kind of supplement their organic efforts. So we have some businesses that summertime is really busy for them. So we tell them, don't run ads if your phones are ringing off the hook. And naturally, it's a fast time to your business. Don't run ads. Don't pay us to manage your ads. Save that money. You don't need to be advertising right now because naturally organic is carrying the load. Then in the wintertime when things are slower, we'll say, okay, let's supplement with some PPC to make sure that your business stays at that level that you want it to be at.
Okay.
So they both have their own, pros and cons as far as
Right.
when to use them and that kind of thing.
Okay. Let's see. So then there's another, and by the way, guys, if you have just key takeaways, anything you've learned today that you want to throw up here, it's always nice for us to hear what points kind of resonated with you. So feel free to chime in there as well. So the next question I have is on email marketing. Should we include images or just plain text?
Images for sure. I think people always want to see the visual aspect, just like with social media. Having an image is what kind of captures their attention, and then they're more likely to read the text above it if there's no text within the image itself. People are very, very visual learners. And so even with like email newsletters, if you say, for example, you have an email newsletter with the sections like I talked about, they're kind of, it's breaking up the text in a very visual way. So it'll literally have a pretty headline that says blog of the month or featured product or service or whatever, and then like news and updates. So it's just easier on the eyes for them to break down the information, scan it, know what they want to read, and then read the information. And so having images is one of those reasons why it just keeps them wanting to continue scrolling if you have a little bit of a longer email newsletter. And so 100%, I definitely think that adding in images, if you have a specific email newsletter platform or products that you're trying to sell, yes.
Okay. Is there, and this is just my own kind of follow-up to that, is there, can you do too much with it? Can you have too many images to where you kind of run people off?
Yeah, I think it's important, and it's all a strategy. Like I think it's just something you have to really figure out what exactly is going to be your messaging. So if you're going to have just a whole gallery of images, like people might just look at that above the fold and then like not, you don't want your image to take up the whole fold when they open the email.
That's actually my problem when I do images right there.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So again, it doesn't have to always be at the top. Like the image doesn't always have to be at the top. You can have a smaller headline or header and then go straight into like your messaging and then have maybe some imagery, like you have your headshot in there. So I think that's like a personal touch to it. But if it's just gonna be,
And my signature, is that you're talking about? Email signature? Is that where my headshot is?
Yes.
I don't even know.
Yes.
I think that's where it is. Okay.
Yes, it's at the bottom.
Gotcha.
So something that's going to make them feel connected and not just be text heavy is really the whole point of that.
Okay. Perfect. So there's another one about reviews, and I'm gonna take a stab at, I bet I know the answer to this anyways. Where's the most important place to have people leave reviews? Because I think, so this is actually something that we do in our business is we do try to tell our clients to go leave us reviews, and we have a process behind that. So is Google, like that Google My Business, you kept mentioning, Jessica, how important that place is that the number one place to have reviews? Because there's also Facebook, you've got Yelp, you've got depending on the industry, there are others. You mentioned Angie's List. Where, if you just had to pick one, where is the place Google review, or sorry, I did it. Where is the place that reviews should live?
If I only had to pick one, It would be Google My Business, but we do tell clients that the three most important are Google My Business, Facebook, and Yelp. And
Okay.
Yelp, because Apple Maps pulls their reviews from Yelp. So
Oh,
for
really?
anybody who's on Apple Maps on your phone, the reviews that you're seeing there are the ones on Yelp. I don't know. Surely Apple doesn't own Yelp. I don't know. The point is that they're listening right now. That's why Yelp is important. So Google My Business, Facebook, and Yelp kind of sprinkle them throughout there, because technically, though you have all those profiles, you don't really own any of them. Any of them could disappear on any given day. So I don't like to tell clients to put all their eggs in one basket. Spread out your efforts. Google My Business, Facebook, and Yelp. And then another question that we get a lot, because we're talking about it, is what do I do if I get a false review or somebody who gives me a 1-star review and the review isn't even about my business, or I don't even remember, I never served this person or provided a service or anything like that. And so 2 things that we tell clients to do, and that's, and it's becoming more of a prevalent question because people are starting to understand that reviews are the lifeblood of your business online. And if poor review can tank your rating, and they're more important now than ever, right? So 2 things that we tell clients to do in those situations. One is a little bit of preemptive damage control. First, I would say, take a deep breath before you respond to this could be possibly ugly review or anything like that. And we always tell clients to just say something kind, like, I'm sorry that you had a poor experience, but it was not at my business. You could even ask them, would you consider removing or changing your review or something like that, but just being kind to them. And then also most of I know Google My Business has it, but the other platforms as well now have an option to mark a review as inaccurate or something like that, and that gets submitted to Google. Now we tell clients to do both because I don't know how long it's going to take the Google people to actually address it, if it will ever get addressed. We've had some removed, we've had some not. So those are the two things that we tell clients to do. The replying to the comment is the immediate, put a Band-Aid on it, stop the bleeding, kind of thing, but saying it in a kind way, and then flagging it as inaccurate as well.
Okay, so true or false, 1-word answer only. I have heard horror stories about Yelp. Do you hate Yelp like a lot of people hate Yelp?
It's not our favorite.
Okay, that's all.
It's one of those necessary evils, and truly, usually the frustration comes when they're trying to use 2 things. One, Yelp has a really interesting comment filtration system. You can get an awesome 2-paragraph review, and Yelp will filter it and say that not show it on your profile, saying that it doesn't think it doesn't meet some kind of. It's just and then if you call about it, if you call about it, they're like, at the end of the day, they're like, we don't really know either, what comments get shown, what reviews get shown or not shown. And so that's frustrating. And then people also get frustrated with the, if they're trying to do a promoted profile, so you're paying for ads on Yelp, we've had some frustration there. But we do create Yelp profiles for all of our clients because it is an important site to be on.
A necessary evil.
Necessary evil. Yep.
Well, listen, guys, we're at the top of the hour. We're close to it. So we don't want to keep anybody longer than they already committed to being here. Jessica, would you, or Courtney, I think you're in charge. Would you just backtrack 1 slide so people can see your email address if they want that website audit that you're offering?
Yes, here we go.
So I would highly recommend you guys just jump on there, send them an email, and let these marketing wizards take a look at your website and give you all kinds of advice on how to do a better job. I know that, like I said, of everything you guys talked about, the weekly email tips, I was glad I got 1 right, but I have a lot of work to do. So I personally want to thank you both for being here, for sharing this incredible content. Thanks to the guests for being here. And we'll go ahead and send out a slide deck and some follow-up emails along with your email address so that they can book that website audit if they should choose to do so. So guys, that's all I've got other than a huge thank you. And with that, we'll go ahead and sign off.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you so much, Justin. Okay. Bye.